CJ, thank you for being here, and you're on.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here. As Ed said, I have been in Region 1 for all of my all of my professional career, and actually have volunteered within some of the sections prior to joining the IEEE staff. So it's a pleasure to be with you all today. Next slide, please. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on every slide because some of these have already been covered. Let me just say that for 2021, relative to membership, we have been in a process of recovering from the pandemic. We have found ourselves really leveraging technology enhancements in the OU analytics, vTools area, use of virtual options for meetings, trying to find ways to connect people virtually. We have had to update our messaging to members. We tended to be somewhat more, I don't want to say sales oriented, but it tended to be somewhat more sales oriented. And to be honest with you, when we came to that pandemic and there was such tragedy and such challenges for all of our members globally, we completely redid the messaging to one of support, providing whatever we could at no cost to members. You've heard Steve Welby talk at various meetings about all that's been done on behalf of COVID and how we leveraged it. And we took advantage of that for members. And it did actually, in our membership, when we're looking at recovery and sort of reinstatement, we have been seeing the benefits of that in our membership. So these are things that we've been doing in real time. And then we've also, Micah just went through a whole host of key MGA focus areas, and we've been actually utilizing those and engaging members in them. Next slide, please. One of the things we do every year is we come up with a list of priority projects, and these are projects that we target to try to support the focus areas. Within MGA, we have two core areas: membership and then geographic units and their vitality. Added to that, we have a group of priority projects that are major IEEE wide and MGA led, and you can see there the rollout of Next Gen. Sections Congress went virtual for this year in a training mode, and then really looking at our infrastructure. So the projects that we've been working on collectively with the staff and the volunteers have been focusing on these. Next slide, please. Steve mentioned the membership numbers. These are the end of July numbers, and what we're showing here are the change year over year from July of 2020. We are at a 1.9% increase overall in IEEE membership. You can see the numbers for higher grade, a slight decline, a large increase for undergraduate students, primarily as a result of the Future 50, as well as the graduate student members who also pay student dues rates. Next slide, please. Looking at it visually, just to give you an idea of where we are relative to prior years, you could see the top line there is the 2019 with the small square boxes on it. The 2020 are the circles, which was considerably lower, and we are somewhere in between for 2021 as of end of July. Next slide, please. Looking at the trends for higher grade membership, you can see that again, that is a little bit below the 2020 curve. However, it is tracking month to month. Next slide, please. And here's the student membership, and you can actually see here. After August and going into the September timeframe, some of the increases, and then we've been able to maintain those increases for students, getting close to the 2019 numbers. Next slide, please. We also report out month over month for society membership and standards. You can see the standards membership here and the increase for this month year over year. I want to point out the society membership that has seen a large increase, a 5.5% increase, and many of that is attributed to increases in the students. I will also say, and I'm going to say it on a future slide as well, many of the societies in response to the considerations or in efforts to membership development have actually reduced their society costs for student members. And, to the point where there are several societies that are offering their annual membership for $1 or $4 or $5. And so we are seeing in some cases that these promotions are bringing in the additional student members or graduate student members. Next slide, please. And you can see here that overall society memberships for members, not including affiliates, are trending much higher than in prior years. Next slide, please. So at this point, I sort of want to wish everybody a happy new year. We, as of the end of August, middle of August 15th, by our bylaws, we have officially switched to the 2022 membership year. And as has been mentioned by everybody before me, this is a wonderful time to actually go out and recruit members, recruit student members. Essentially, when a member if they go to our website and join today, they are automatically put up for September membership for 2022, and they will be now members through the end of 2022. So they're effectively getting 16 months of membership for the price of 4. So it's a very good time to do it. This is our schedule for the renewal. We have already opened the site to new joins. The existing members, those of you who all on here, can run to your computers on September 7th and renew your membership for 2022. We will begin our renewal notifications at the end of September. The paper for email, we also will again send out paper for the higher grade members and society affiliates. And then in mid-October, we have our renewal process that runs for those members who have enrolled. There is an existing, I believe there's an existing promotion that went out for new members. I believe it's still on for a $10 off if they do sign up for auto renewal. And just to give you an idea of how important this auto renewal cycle is, in 2022, we had 73,000 members. Starting at this point, a year ago, we had 73,000 members who were signed up for auto renewal. And then this year, with the promotion and with growth, we have close to 75,000 members, 74,800 who have signed up for auto renewal. And, the number that sort of falls out of this on an annual basis when we go to actually apply it in October is about 12%. But this by far is one of the best membership tools that we have used. This is, roughly about 25% of our membership asks us to allow them to auto renew, and brings in a significant amount of the membership revenue annually. So it's a good thing. And if you haven't signed up for it, consider signing up for it next year. Next slide, please. I want to just also say we have not redesigned the membership cart. That has been done this year. It's actually active now. We have, it's now mobile available, desktop available. We have a large cross-functional team on the staff that works across all of the departments and all of the major areas, as well as volunteers who help us, stakeholders, and we also have brought in a vendor that specializes in user experience. It started in August 2019, and it just launched about 2 weeks ago. So look forward to an improved experience when you're going through your membership. You can actually see where you are. It helps you get through clearly, and much overdue enhancement to our system. Next slide, please. I always like to bring a few of the vTools in OU Analytics to each of these meetings for those of you who are using, and obviously I see a group of section chairs here. You now can actually identify easily members and society affiliates who are new or recently moved into your organizational unit. You'll have these slides. You can go back and look at it, but this will enable you for any of your membership development activities. I see there was some discussion in the chat about people, changing sections or relocating as a result of remote work. And, for those people who have updated their addresses in the IEEE databases, you should be, and are willing to receive promotions, because we do put that caveat on. You can actually now see if there are new members in there, if you would like to reach out to them, or at least to understand, potentially movement into your section. Next chart, please. Some new features in vTools, which are pretty interesting and help out with you sort of cultivating your following and your member following for your meetings. In the event activity dashboard, there is a My Events, and it enables anybody who has signed up for meetings to be able to see what they've actually signed up for. And could you advance to the next slide, please? So here you see, there's My Events, and I want to note, because there's been some discussion on this at various region meetings, this is available to any members and guests who have an IEEE account who have signed up for meetings. And so this gives people an opportunity to keep track of what they sign up for, and very helpful, so that they hopefully don't forget to come to meetings they sign up for far in advance. Next slide, please. I was having a lot of fun with this yesterday. I was actually trying to figure out, did I want to look at the Long Island section? Did I want to look at Jersey Coast section? I decided to just stick with Region 1, but this has been added in the vTools activity, and it enables you to see graphically and numerically for each of your units. I happen to show Region 1 here. It shows you the events by category. It gives us some graphic view of it, shows you the reported events, the unreported, which are maybe held but not finalized, and then also future scheduled. Gives you some idea of days of the week that meetings are being held, and also whether they're virtual or not virtual. Some of you may be able to be meeting in person. If you could move to the next slide. Under the region, you can then see each individual section, and you can actually click to see the affinity group, student branch, and branch activity. I guess, again, where it's in the vTools system, but you can bring that in. And then, each of you that has your own section, you can see there's a parallel track for in the same area for you to see your own section and graphically. So the more information you put in, and work through vTools, we're trying to add a lot of these features to make it easy for you as leaders to track what's going on in your section, and your groups, without having to go, individually into each group and its reporting. Next slide, please. I always like to plug the Center for Leadership Excellence. This is a significant on-demand training center for local leaders. It serves the audiences you can see here: the region, section, chapter, affinity group, student branch. There are section level committees. For those of you who are active in Volt, and Kate Duncan didn't put me on the spot. She usually puts me on the spot about how many Volt graduates are here, and she happens to be one of our most prominent Volt graduates. So there's all of the training for Volt is here, and it's not limited. There are like precursor courses. And any of you can take those courses. It's about IEEE OUs. So if you want to know more about standards, there are conference training, recordings. We have put up all the Sections Congress recommendations and recordings, and the new virtual training from 2021 from Sections Congress is also up here. It is really a very good resource, and we are going to be trying to really do some advertising around it, because there's a lot of opportunities here for new members in your section, or if you're trying to recruit a volunteer, they can actually take a look at it and see what what would be involved in their job. Some of you might want to look at, how to help others within your management team, and that can be helpful. There, variety of courses here. So I can't plug that enough. Next slide, please. The Sections Congress virtual training, we spoke about that earlier. It was held this year. The training is there here. This gives you an idea of sort of what happened with it. This is a readout on it. The surveys, you can see 53 of the attendees had attended Sections Congress for the first time. We have a number who have significant volunteer experience. Anyway, you can see this here. All of the recordings and slides are available. There is a Sections Congress website. To the question, Peter, about 2023, it will be the weekend around August 12th and 13th. I guess it's the 11th, 12th, and 13th of 2023. So that's that. I'm looking at the contract now for that. We will be holding it in Ottawa. Again, not again. We didn't hold it in 2020 in Ottawa. We're going to hold it now in Ottawa at the Shaw Center. So looking forward to seeing many of you there. Hopefully we'll be through the pandemic, and definitely more to come on that. Next slide, please. I always like to end with another plug for and to support Jason Hui, our MGA Awards Chair and your Region Awards Chair. We are still in cycle for receiving MGA individual awards. The deadline for receipt of these is 15 October. You have about 2 months to get those in, and it would be wonderful to see recognitions coming in for consideration by the committee from Region 1. To the question about that had come up from some of the local industry, we have Friend of MGA, IEEE MGA Awards. And what these are, it's an opportunity for your section to send a nomination in to recognize somebody who has been supportive or who has collaborated with you. It can be an individual, it can be a company if you're working, I don't know, somebody had mentioned LL Bean. There's not a requirement that it be a tech company. If you have a local company that you're partnering with in your area that's been supporting you either from connections with technology or connections through business, providing a meeting location at no charge, providing you with guest speakers, you have the opportunity to recognize them. It's a certificate that you can present, and it's a nice opportunity within your section to acknowledge the support that you've been getting within your local group. And then certainly we'll recognize the sections. And I think with that, that ends my presentation. I'm certainly available at any time for the remainder of the time. And certainly you can certainly get to me or to members of the MGA staff to ask any of the questions you have, or send it through one of your officers. And I think Ed has my email and phone numbers on speed dial. So if you can't find me, he can. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, CJ. As always, very good, and we appreciate very much that you spent some time with us. As she said, questions can and will be taken. I want to move on with the agenda, since we all kind of want to take back a little bit of our Saturday. But as CJ said, questions, if you send it to her, you send it to me, they will all get answered. So that ends our information point from our very, very important people, our